Hi, and welcome to another brilliant episode of the Psychology Diary podcast, where we talk about everything mental health. In this episode, I'll be interviewing Jared Wade. Jared Wade is the founder of the Mad Hatter Music Company, which seeks to promote mental health with music. He has been able to craft his niche in the music industry and has done a lot of work trying to advocate for mental health. He has artists signed under his label and is a very wonderful guy. Enjoy this interview. Can I get to know you better?
Yes. Yes. What would you like to know?
Everything about you, your name, just everything about your life. We'll get to the other
Okay.
questions.
All right. I'm going to go back just a couple of years because that's really where this story begins, where I really started getting involved with mental health.
Okay.
And I jump back a little bit from there, but then we'll go forward. So I started with my brother
Okay.
in August of 2018, and we started working on music together as a form of music therapy. And I had that moment, had just had a childhood traumatic experience resurface that I never really processed and never really thought about it, and never wanted to think about it again. But it's something that just came up and was pervading in my mind. And right at this time, when we started working on music together, and so I got counseling for that. I went to seek professional counseling, and my brother struggles with mental health issues.
Okay.
Say that, and so that's kind of why we thought music therapy would be good for both of us. And then, fast forward, we started working in the spring of 2019 with a friend of mine who plays guitar. He really couldn't make it out until about the end of spring, and he started playing with us, and by the end of the summer, he said, these songs really need to be shared. These are just amazing songs that you guys are writing and that you're coming up with, and I'm blown away, and I think you really need to start sharing this stuff. But he really wasn't interested in being part of that picture. But he helped us get started and helped us get organized as a band. And then I saw, if we're making music that's going to help and lift and build people, I bet there's other musicians out there that are lifting and building people with their music and have that same goal and thought process in mind. And so we started a website called madhattermusic.org. And at the same time we started our website, we started our band, and we began playing. We played one show, and then my guitarist friend said, okay, that's enough for me. But we had another friend step in who said, you guys are amazing, and I need to record you. It's like, I don't know, but I absolutely need to record you. And so we started working with him to kind of figure out when would be a good time or how to get that process started. And in the meantime, my wife left me and took my children.
Really?
We have four kids, and I was a full-time stay-at-home dad, and she's an attorney. So she knows all the tricks and tips to jump through to get all the power in the court and just really hit me where she wants to. But that gave me a lot of time to start focusing on music. And with that time to focus on music, I poured myself into Mad Hatter Music and to really lifting and building the world, to make our world a better place, to unite people with song. There's nothing like music that reaches across all different language barriers and cultural barriers to say, come together and overcome the differences between us. And so that's I've been working. I started as a local project, and I started working with an Italian opera singer because she was really interested in the idea. And so we took that out, and I connected with another Italian pop star, and she was really interested in the idea. And so it started growing from there. And so we've been able to kind of reach around the world and represent artists from all over the world, and just promoting music and promoting their efforts to lift and build people. And that's really been my primary focus. And we go back to to my childhood, I studied music quite a bit when I was younger. I had many years of music training, and it felt important, but I never really understood why. Because I grew
Okay.
up and I got married. It had nothing to do with music for a long time. But then working with my brother kind of brought it all back and just really ignited that passion in me. And so here we
Hmm.
are now at hattermusic.org. And our band is called Know Our Dream.
Okay.
We have a new album that we're just coming out with. But we also just being able to pour ourselves into the music and really focused on helping people understand the mental illness that my brother struggles with, but at the same time, being able to lift them and build them through their depression or through their struggles, because we all have struggles.
Sure.
And it's largely misunderstood and mistreated in society,
Sure.
because people don't understand that that people are not their behavior, but that we're all children of God, and that we have an opportunity to unite as people to lift and build each other and support each other. And that's kind of what we do, is we unite people across spectrums,
Okay.
across beliefs, across foundations. We
Okay.
unite people
Okay.
to build each other.
Okay. I had a look at the website. It's a very good one. I listened to one of the music, so it got
Mm-hmm.
me. It put a question in my head. I wanted to know how Mad Hatter Music Company advocates for awareness of mental health through music.
So we have various links on the website that go directly to um, different resources. So with our work with suicide prevention, we have the American Society for Prevention of Suicide. That is a link to off of our website, and we have a few songs from a few artists that are specifically targeted to help people become aware of how they treat other people, because nobody knows what somebody else is going through, and that it might be their last day,
Oh.
and to help prevent them from making that choice. There's specific songs that they've written, and then with mental health, we have a link to a group called NAMI,
Okay.
and NAMI is a really great organization for helping people understand what struggles mental health really puts out there, what people struggle with bipolar or with schizophrenia
ADHD.
or with whatever their challenges may be. Like, it really helps to lay that out and give people understanding.
Oh.
And so the music we have a lot. We promote a lot of artists whose music is uplifting and inspiring. The
Oh.
music talks about the different challenges that they've faced through mental illness, or also that they really just want to lift and build people. One of the
Okay.
artists that we really endorse is, her name's Luna Keller, and she's out of Europe. She's all over Europe, actually. But she's just a talented young woman who's just been able to use her music to uplift and enlighten people, and to just try and make the world a happier and better place.
Oh. Oh.
There's a whole host of other artists that we work with. Alex Boy is he's the spokesman for the American Society for the Prevention of Suicide. He's their head go-to music performance guy, and his music's very uplifting and very inspiring.
Yeah.
And just all these different people who've used their talents to lift and build people with their music, and that's really, like the featured artist this month is Shadi, and he started out like most rappers. His music was just life on the streets and rapping about what he had to deal with and what life is and all that. And then something got a hold of him, and he became this incredibly positive person, lifting and building other people. And his music shows it. And then the change in his music is so uplifting and so inspiring to just hear him reach out with music to lift people up. Because so much of the rap artists out there are just, this is the horror and the gore of the streets. And they're singing about it and they're glorifying it. And it's just, that doesn't do anybody any good.
Sure.
But Shadi's really been able to reach out and try and build understanding and lift people up with his music.
What led to the development of the PTSD you were able to overcome?
So as part of my divorce process, I had to get psychologically evaluated. And they tested for PTSD because that was really of concern. And they found that I have absolutely no trace of PTSD in me at all. And what started as a diagnosis of PTSD that came from a traumatic childhood experience where I was attacked by a group of boys that were a lot older than me and a lot bigger than me and a lot stronger than me. And they really shamefully attacked me. And from that experience, it was just, so much of my life was shaped and formed. And I really never addressed it and never even thought about it again until my son was that same age and going into that same level of grade in school. And then it all kind of rushed back. And I realized I needed to do something to protect him, to help him, to prepare him for the challenges that were in front of him. And at the same time, I realized that I needed to process and deal with this in order to do that effectively as a parent.
Okay.
And that, going through counseling, I was able to overcome PTSD entirely. In part, I think it was due to something called EMDR, which is basically where you go back into your life's trauma,
Okay.
and give yourself what you needed in that moment, and give yourself the understanding that you've gained from your experience in that moment. And it doesn't make it okay, but it makes it so that you can get past that experience. And so you can live a life that's full and free from the pain of that trauma.
Okay. Have you forgiven your wife?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love her very much, and I'm very sad for her choices that are destroying our family. But I love her very much. I love my children very much, and that's her choices are her choices, and that's an entirely different story.
Okay, great. So can you tell me more about your brother Will and his battle with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder?
Yes. So with Will, he was, the push was to get him to 25, and he's 23 now, but he's doing so good. He's supposed to be getting married at the end of the week. He was struggling to even come out of his bedroom in order to even get out of himself, and finding music gave him a voice. It gave him a voice of expression to help people to understand what he struggles with, but then also it gave him an impetus and a reason to rise up and to do more. And it's been amazing to watch him blossom and to grow as an individual and just be able to take on an entire new outlook on life and embrace positivity, because with his illness, there's so many voices going on inside of his head, and so much distraction, and so many things that we would say aren't there, but to him they're very real. And it's just interesting to see the changes that have come upon him.
Okay.
Through music and working with music, and it's a delicate balance with schizophrenia and bipolar to be able to balance his medication and to be able to balance his moods and his personal stability as far as his emotional stability, And with music, it's just a powerful and amazing tool.
Amazing. How many artists are currently signed to your record label?
So basically, right now we have about 4 or 5 musicians that we're working with. So with a local band that we work with, and we really do a lot of promotion and really focus on promotion. So we have a lot of artists that we work with and promote that we do not have anything to do with their recording. But with Know Our Dream and with new management, we're working with Cherish Nunnally a little bit. She's a country singer. And then we have a couple of local bands that we worked out.
Okay, great. How important is family to you?
Very, very important. Family is life. You know, for like I said, for 7 years I was a stay-at-home dad, and so that was my primary focus. And my primary mission was to just see my children to be raised, to help them in their schooling, and to help them prepare for life. And family to me is everything. And being able to work with my brother on this has been a tremendous blessing and an opportunity to just grow closer as family and to really see him prepare to take his life to the next level.
Okay.
Has been a wonderful blessing too. And
Okay.
It's hard to see my family going through trials and trauma, but I know that they will be successful in life regardless because I'm being taught to persevere and survive.
Yes.
And that example I'm providing to them is going to help them and benefit them throughout their life.
Sure. What are 3 things you want to be remembered for?
Compassion.
Okay.
Kindness.
Okay.
And the music I'm leaving in the world. Because I know that this inspiration to build music, to have artists build their works around the concept of lifting and building people, is going to leave a legacy that's way more powerful than anything I could accomplish on my own.
Okay. If you were to leave the world today and carry one thing with you to heaven, what would that be?
The lessons I've learned here, obviously.
Okay.
The joy I've gained in lifting and building others.
Okay. Great. Where can we find you on social media?
On Facebook, I'm Jared Wade. On LinkedIn, I'm Jared Wade. And obviously through Mad Hatter Music, goes directly to my email.
Okay. Great. Do you have anything coming up this year before the year runs out? Do you have any new project coming up?
Yes, absolutely. So Know Our Dream has a new album that we've just released called Down the Rabbit Hole. And it's we're working with Mad Hatter Music, so Down the Rabbit Hole becomes more play on the story of Alice in Wonderland, which is really a delve into mental illness and also just into understanding about life. And so we've kind of taken that and gone in a direction of helping people to understand mental illness, but also to be uplifted and to be inspired to overcome the obstacles of their life.
Okay. And your brother as well. Are you promoting his music as well?
Yeah, so he does a lot of the review with me.
Okay.
And so if something claims to be supporting mental health and a musician wants to support mental health, but they're going about it the wrong way, Will lets me know that this is not the right way to do things. Okay. And so we're able to reach back and say, okay, well, come back at us with something a little bit more along these guidelines. Provide them with a set of guidelines of what we're looking for to help lift and build people.
Okay, great. It's been really nice speaking with you, Gerald. I really learned a lot from you. Can we do this another time?
All right, sounds great, Charles.
Okay, great.
So nice to talk to you too.
Have a beautiful day.
Yes, you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, thanks for listening in. It was an amazing time I had with Gerald. Hope you picked up one or two things about mental health and music. So leave a review on this podcast. It's really helped a lot. And till next time, stay legendary.